Welcome
Welcome
to
to
Shade
Shade
in the
in the
City.
City.
I am your girl, Treese,
It's Nels.
and today we are jumping into episodes 5 through 7 of The Love That Is Blind. And let me tell you something, we figured out that it ain't. And I am upset about the sugars. Not
I ain't.
the sugars.
I ain't.
So, y'all,
You better take.
I don't even want to hold y'all. Welcome new viewers and all of our Shade squad. If you have not already, please make sure that you hit that like button.
And that subscribe button.
Y'all, let's jump right into it because I'm really upset about the sugars. Let's get shady. See Uche, he appears to be hurt and thrown off by Aaliyah not being there on the other side. He said, I gotta get to where you are. I'll take a bus, plane, train, or car for you.
I ain't gonna lie. I felt bad for him at that point, but
I didn't. As soon as he picked up the phone, he
he,
pissed me off.
yeah,
So
yeah, before he got on the phone, then I was like,
right. So production tells him she decided to leave the process. He goes back and tells the guys, and he wonders what Lydia said to her. What could she have said? Um, and so he shares with the guys that he dated Lydia before. He's in extreme disbelief that this happened, and he wants the opportunity to reach out to her. And production tells him that they'll make the call if he wants. So obviously they call her, and she answers and tells him that her and Lydia had exchanged words and it didn't go well. So apparently, maybe that's something that we did not see. She says basically that it was too much for her, and he's upset that she let Lydia get in her head. He's not being, that was my whole thing. He's not being sensitive to what she was going through and how she was feeling. And it was all about how
you,
can you,
you know,
that's just my take on
you
it.
know what? I'm not gonna lie. That aggravated me too, but I can't 100% defend her because I completely understood where he was coming from when he said, you just left. You didn't leave no note. You didn't leave no way for me to contact, no, nothing. So in my mind, that means to me, you don't want to ever hear from me again. You don't care if you hear from me again. You don't care if you ever see me again because you didn't leave any way for me to even contact you. You didn't leave any context as to why you're leaving to make me even think that the door is even cracked.
I think she thought they was gonna find each other on Facebook or something. Because they said they was following each other or something like that. But anyway, so point being is that I just but
Well, then
yeah.
guess what? It would have been you thought wrong because that's what you get for thinking. You didn't leave no context, no nothing. So in my mind, you don't want nothing to do with me.
So I guess he was wanting a poem before she got on the train. Apparently, they watched too much Love Jones, because she skipped out on the poem and just got on the train. So
She should have left something. Hey, I had a conversation with Lydia. I need to think about things, blah, 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 blah. But you just left. You didn't even consider. I understand she was upset, but damn, you didn't consider me at all.
well, I love one point that she brings up, and she talks about how Lydia was sharing things with her. And then she asked him, do you think that she purposely applied for this process, this show, knowing that basically you would be here? And basically he tells her,
I think that
you're
pissed him
only
off.
thinking about yourself.
Yeah, I think it pissed him. Why would you say that? Da, 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 da.
And basically he's done talking and said he doesn't want to see her again. And that's it.
I'm not gonna lie, I would be on the same energy, but it would be for a totally different reason.
I can respect that.
It wouldn't have been because they said something, because I still need to understand the fact that this is a weird situation that you're in that I'm
Right.
asking you to accept. But damn, like I am asking you to accept it. If you're telling me no, you're not accepting it, then okay,
Cool.
exactly. But if you do have the door cracked, give me some context and let me know that the door is cracked.
Hmm. Well, then we see Lydia and Milton. They finally meet and they can't seem to keep their hands off each other. Lydia seems to be pleased to be marrying a giant. And he calls her out about her English and
That's
tells
BFG.
with the big friendly giant he is. And he calls her out about her English and tells her she needs flashcards. And I said, oh, that's
maybe not so friendly.
he's more of a BSG. That motherfucker's sarcastic as hell.
You know what? Now that there was a couple things that I was like, okay, all
Yeah.
right.
Sarcastic or sassy,
Look,
whatever.
she gets his humor, apparently.
Right. So then the engaged couples are all off to their romantic vacation in Cancun. Taylor brings up how her first meeting with Sugar Butt, she felt it was awkward and maybe he didn't like her. Now, let me get through it and then I'll dig into Taylor. So Stacy and Izzy are getting very close as well. And everybody seems like they do, they want to do this. And Lydia,
or like they did to do, or they
yeah,
going
or
to.
like they did to do.
Mm-hmm.
And Lydia notices Milton's hair, just like I did. That was the only thing she noticed. But he was like, what do you like about me? And she was like, your hair. And I was like, that's what I would have said. That's exactly what I would have said. I said, me and Lydia, it's really scary. It's starting to be scary. Y'all, I do. Well, I'm
Yeah, but 2 feet tall. How the hell she see it?
we've already
in that in that shower.
I'm just saying
I
he
think he
clearly
definitely.
he
I
clearly
think,
has no problem bending down and getting.
or picking her up. I think he definitely picked her up.
So but yeah, so here's my only thing with Taylor. I feel like I understand both sides. I really do. But I'm kind of with Sugar Butt, JP. I'm kind of with him that she from day one when they met each other and she was like, "Oh, it's awkward." And I get it. You just met a stranger, whatever. But she went into that on the vacation and like I felt like she carried it around. I was kind of with
Well, because he gave off an energy. I mean, imagine, Trace, if in the pods everything is cool, y'all are open talking to each other, but then when this person meets you in person, they give you awkward energy. Like he was not very affectionate. He was kind of closed off. He didn't really seem like he was even attracted to her. So you're going to carry that around. You're going to feel like the person you're with don't really like you like that. Ain't attracted to you. Now y'all not on the same vibe. Y'all ain't on the same vibration no more because whatever y'all had in the pod is now gone. Now that y'all met each other in person, now it's awkward as hell. Now you feel like he don't like you. He don't want to be around you. And now you have to pull things out of him. Now you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like that in the pod. So now you're feeling like it's a physical thing. And as a woman, you don't want to feel that way.
agreed. So Nels has points. Sometimes she has points. So
Most of the
yes.
time.
Now Taylor does let him know that, I'm gonna assume maybe her parents are divorced because she says that, she refuses to be divorced. And Sugar Butt agrees with her. But she still, as Nell said, is really bothered by the fact that she continues to do all the talking. So then Izzy and Stacy are talking about the other girls, and she warns him not to be speaking to Lydia in Spanish because she don't want no, tomfoolery going on. But when Lydia sees Izzy, she admits that that's the guy that she would normally go for. But she loves
he was
Milton.
actually attracted to her.
Right. And then Milton talks to Sugarbutt and asks him if he got some, and he admits that he didn't. There was nothing. So, and Stacy is really concerned about being played by Izzy, but just thinks that he's so sweet with her. But, he gives off this player boy energy, and I'm just not really sure. And I said, poor girl. When you see all the signs and you choose to ignore them, I can relate. So,
I was about to say that's most women. They think that, it's different with them.
right. But she asked, not Sugar Butt, But she asked, what's the girl name? Taylor. How did she, know, so soon? And Taylor's like, I just felt so comfortable with him. And, it was just, we could talk about anything. And, she's like, and now I don't know if I made a mistake. And I was like, well, maybe you did. And then we see them get into kind of a little rough patch because everybody's lovey-dovey playing,
Acting like they're in a relationship.
Flash dance on the beach and everybody's rolling around in the sand, half naked, and they sitting there looking
like they just boned the night before.
Right. And they just looking at each other. Literally. Because they ain't got nothing to say. And anytime anything is said, it's coming from Taylor, poor girl. I ain't say she was wrong for that. That was, my talkative ass wouldn't have been able to do it. And I can talk. I have no
that's what she said.
I have no problem carrying a conversation, but that would be too much.
I don't, and it's not even necessarily that I feel like it's just the normal conversation type talk. She just feels like she's pulling things out of him. Like, we're supposed to be getting to know each other. You know what I mean? We're married. Like, you're not giving me anything. Basically, you know more about me than I know about you. Anytime that we talk, it's, yeah, I'm the one bringing up the conversation. I'm the one, you know what I mean? Is there nothing you want to know about me? Do you have nothing to ask me? Pull some out of me. You know what I mean? I think it's more than just like, talking like regular conversation. She's like, we're supposed to be getting to know each other.
Got you. So then the Sugars go and for an ATV, the Sugars. Oh, I'm sorry. We're now at episode 6. So if you haven't already, Shade Squad and new viewers, please make sure you've hit that like button.
And that subscribe button.
Now, and scene. So the Sugars, they're going on an ATV ride. She asks how he's feeling, and he compliments her on her freckles because he can finally see them. He was being shady. He's ready to go back to Houston and live together, but can't talk to the girl, is what my notes say. And he admits that he's scared that she'll leave him. Now, all Stacy can talk about is Izzy's big stick, and he seems like he's trying to have a real conversation, but she can't get past the naughtiness of it all and referring to how big his stick is. Okay? Then we see another conversation between the Sugars. The Sugars were dominating this episode. And she doesn't feel that they're where they need to be.
Their last.
Huh?
Nothing.
Oh, he tells her she's harping on the fact that things are awkward and she doesn't want to change her mind. So he tells her that she's
trying. Mind, or should you change your behavior? What type of shit?
So, she's like, I've tried to get past it, but Nick, you haven't changed anything. And so he brings up that he didn't like all the makeup that she had when they met, and he feels like he likes her more natural. And she was like, but you didn't see me in the pods. So how are you going to use that as an excuse?
And he's like, well, I see you now. Oh.
And that apparently, he says, is what made him change his communication. Drop down in the comments. Let us know if you think
that's BS.
Right. So, and he felt it was fake. It was that for me. I was like, that's a harsh word.
Because she wore makeup the first time y'all met.
And he doesn't want someone.
What's crazy is she didn't even know that about the whole makeup thing, but she hasn't worn makeup since.
And he said, and great, because you look beautiful. He's like, we'll get into that.
Oh, so I didn't look beautiful when you first met me.
Right. So he doesn't want someone who puts on a fake face. And then basically he's like, I loved you natural. You've been good ever since. Let's stay like that. And she's like, I'm going to wear makeup if I want. And then he's like, well, go do it. And then I basically, fine, do what you want to do. And I was like, oh, this is getting nasty.
This is giving Married at First Sight. I don't remember the couple's name. The ones that didn't work out, but remember he didn't want her to wear makeup? And it was like a big thing for him. I think it was the last season, wasn't it?
It wasn't Gina and Clint, was it? No. It couldn't have been them. He is expecting her to leave. And she says basically,
I don't want you to be awkwardly social, but
right. So she's like, you know what? I'm gonna give you some space, give myself some space. And she, still feels like he has a good heart, but they obviously have some things to discuss. So they agree to meet in the morning to have some harder conversations. Now, Milton and Lydia have a quick conversation about their fears of living together because it's definitely giving mothering.
And because he's dirty.
Well, that, but she's also giving mothering and a little bit controlling.
Shouldn't have to. He should know to pick up his off the floor.
I don't disagree with that, but he also is a 24-year-old bachelor. So the sugars meet. Huh?
I said you got me there.
Right. So the sugars meet up for a discussion. They might not be the sugars after this discussion. So Sugar Butt wants to continue, and Taylor is giving him straight RBF. Okay. She lets him know with her natural face. She lets him know he's not the person she fell in love with. She said it feels uncomfortable and forced, and the makeup thing was an excuse. She tells him she doesn't think that they should be engaged or live together, and she's done. Divorce.
You idiot.
And honestly, again, I'm a talker, y'all, but that would have been it for me. She's better than me because they were able to make it. I can't get none. We can't have no conversation. Like, give me something. Give me a reason.
Like, we're in this beautiful place. You can't come up with nothing. We're on the beach. It looks amazing. We're around our friends.
And you know what would have really pissed me off is it'd be different if when he was down there, he didn't talk to anybody. But I noticed that when he got around, like when they were on the beach and they were like playing games and stuff and playing cornhole and whatever, it seemed like he got more comfortable when the guys were around and he was like open and talking. And if I was her sitting back, it'd be like, so I just sat up in a room with you, or I just spent 8 hours with you and you didn't have to say to me, and you come out here and now you're Mr. Conversation. I mean, it wasn't all that. It wasn't no Izzy or nothing like that, but it was definitely, he was definitely talking to them a lot more than he was talking to her, the sugar that he was supposed to be married. Yeah. So that is the end of the sugars, unfortunately.
And see.
Now that that's done, they get back to Houston, and Milton learns that his work schedule has changed, and now he's going to be working nights, and it's the complete opposite schedule of Lydia. So she's worried about them seeing each other, but I have a feeling Lydia's going to find a way to see him. I don't know if it's good or bad.
He always finds a way.
She might pull up. Now, Stacey is relieved that her family and friends are so supportive of her engagement and their process. She worries about Izzy's mom because I guess when they called her to tell her about the engagement, she seemed kind of hesitant and was more worried about, he says it was more her worried about him hurting Stacey. And I was like, well, that's pretty bad when your mother thinks that of you. That's a major red flag when your own mother is like, are you sure you're ready? Because I'm questioning if you're ready. But he reassures her that, he has unconditional love for her.
And because she's different. It's going to be different with her, of course.
Right. Now, Lydia goes to visit Milton's bachelor apartment, and she realizes that he's really 24. It's really hitting her. He lives like he's in a dorm room with very ugly rugs. And he calls it minimalist. It was giving Kirsten from Married at First Sight. There was nothing on the walls. So I don't think there was nightstands or anything of that nature. They bond over his microscope.
He did actually have a little bit more, I think, than Kirsten.
Right.
Very little.
I will say that I was a little upset. I thought this was a very cute moment. She was really into his microscope, and she was trying to look at it and just see, because obviously they kind of do the same thing. And I was like, oh, this is a really cute moment. But they couldn't have the cute moment because he's such a nerd. And he's like, oh my God, don't get too close. You might break it. And I was like, oh my God. And I was just like, you're really, like, it was making me mad watching. I was like, that's how young you are. You don't even realize, like, this is a really good moment to bond. All he cares about is their microscope.
She ignored him anyway.
Right. His roommate, and again, maybe they'll balance each other out because she is so much, you know what I mean? I feel like she's gonna do what she want to do anyway. So maybe, I don't know. His roommate Josh comes in and he immediately wants to get Liddy. Lydia doesn't understand this term. She learns about his Pokemon obsession. And Josh basically says that he thinks he's ready for marriage based off of what he's accomplished, which we know Nell said. So again, I do like Milton. I think he seems cool. I still think he's not where he needs to be emotional maturity wise to be married, but I think he could probably be cool to like date or hang out with. Like he seems like when he's not playing Pokemon, I would want to get litty with him.
I was gonna say he seems cool to pick up the tab.
Right. Awful. So
it was the way you said right. Awful.
Gosh.
You started to agree. You said right.
So now Stacy and Izzy are riding in her nice whip, okay, and takes him to her home that he plans on moving into. I said, well,
it's a beautiful home.
It is.
And a beautiful car.
Let me tell y'all something about Izzy. Izzy clearly has been living off his good looks and personality for a very long time, and it will get you far.
But his little place is cute. It's a little bachelor pad. He got a nice little place. It ain't hers. It ain't close to Stacy's, but I mean, he seemed like he's doing okay.
Yeah, he can move her in.
I didn't say that.
He can move her into.
I'm saying
one bedroom.
I'm saying he might have. He's able to take care of himself. It seems pretty nicely himself. But Stacy, let me say, I ain't even gonna say Stacy. They got it. They got it. Her family got it.
I don't know. You see how they went on a whole different side of town to go to her house, and it was a very nice part of town. Same.
You see how when they was talking about the trip that they went on and the family trip, and I think they do this yearly or something.
It's pretty bad, y'all. So
Stacy family needs to adopt me.
So Stacy,
my long lost sister.
What happened?
I said her family needs to adopt me. That's my long lost sister.
You stupid. So now he already has enough girls. I don't think he's looking for her.
Who don't want a bunch of daughters?
You're stupid. Now, Stacy wants to talk about money. She wants to get right into it. Izzy tells her he wants to do things 50-50, even dinner. And you can see the look of disgust on Stacy's face. And I literally thought about Nels.
I literally when he said that, I'm sure me and Stacy had the same face. First of all, I'm not doing 50-50 in the household. First of all. Second of all, for dinner, listen to me. Either you got it, or I decide I'm treating and I got it. We're not doing no 50-50 at dinner and I go home with you every damn night. You got me all the way messed up. It is a no, absolutely not. It's a no for me.
Well,
look, I'm not gonna lie. I would have been like, yeah. I would have been like, Mrs. Sugar. Okay.
Yeah, I'm done.
This isn't gonna work. It's not gonna work.
So now Izzy is visibly uncomfortable and says that he's not used to having a girl with such expensive taste. And she tells him she's worried about a man taking advantage of her and her family for having so much money.
Mm-hmm.
I said, it must be nice. More money, more problems, right?
Stacy, no, I'm your sister, right?
You stupid. We see Aaliyah sitting up waiting for Uche. At some random restaurant. It did look nice. She tells Uche she loves him and that she's never had a connection with anyone like she's had with him. And she tells him that she wants him and wants marriage. And I said, so you just went. I mean, I guess if you're, I get what
I'm saying. If the door was that far open, woman, that's my only issue. If it was that far open, because you made it seem like the door was shut, locked, you got deadbolts on it. But if it was that far open, that this was even a thought in your mind that maybe you wanted this man to even reach out to you, you didn't leave no type of inkling. Nothing.
You have valid points. So
But she did work.
I didn't like how she went in there and completely
She did.
threw
She put
all her cards on the table.
She did. Maybe she felt. I mean, it was her turn.
I guess so. So she explains what happened and everything that Lydia had said to her, literally word for word. And he said that, you know, he was actually trying to be respectful. And so he does accept some accountability in the situation and says that he wasn't trying to badmouth Lydia because, you know, her and Lydia were friends. And he starts to explain how Lydia started acting like a nut box and invading his privacy while they were dating. And so he broke things off. She kept pursuing him. So, you know, he took her back. He was gonna,
The only thing I agreed with as far as, Lydia's behavior is this invading privacy thing. Like, what the hell is that? Especially if there's something to find, sir. First of all, if we go together, we go together. Your phone is mine and my phone is yours. It's ours.
Well,
don't have nothing in there.
He explains that not only did she go as far as to clearly go through his phone, but she started following all his friends.
Yeah, that's a little much.
And then,
well, no, she didn't. What she did was she watched their stories every day. She was in their stories every day.
Well, I would think you would have to follow them to see their stories.
I don't think so. If their page isn't private.
Nobody's stories that I don't follow come up in my thing.
She was going to their page.
Oh, okay, that's different. Well, that's an extra level.
Yeah, she was going to their page and looking at their stories.
At that point, I would.
And the people saw that, hey, this is your girlfriend every day in my stories. She's looking at my stories every day, which makes it even weirder because we don't follow her. She don't follow us. Why is she coming on my page? Because through his page, through his friends, and saw who the hell he was following.
Okay, that is giving scary. So yeah, no, then she took a picture of his driveway and texted him, "I see you."
Or yeah, something it was, or yeah.
So then he cut her off, and then he says he felt bad because she was going through a rough time. But then once he realized she was where she needed to be, and she went and got some therapy and some help, and he broke it off.
He ended up dropping it. They ended up having sexual relations,
right?
Okay, during that time because he felt bad,
and he wanted to comfort her.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and though she explains that she believes Lydia plotted to get on the show with him, Aaliyah wants another chance to try things again with Uche, and he said that he does love her, but is unsure if she can basically stick things out. He's seen his parents go through thick and thin and all the above, and you know, they still here, solid as a rock. So he basically says that he wants the same thing and he can't deal with her. So he tells her it's over between the two of them. Bam. Drops the mic.
Did you agree with that?
What?
His response. Do you think he should have gave her another chance? I did think that, especially since she has more relationship experience.
Right.
Clearly she knows how to be in a relationship, a long-term relationship. I didn't think that that was any reason to let her go and say, oh, well, you don't know how to stick it out. Clearly that's not the case. So your relationships have been how long? But I definitely felt like he could have and should have given her another chance. But
and even then, honestly, I felt like that was better for her because he was going to drag her through the mud because she was willing to do anything and everything. That's why I didn't like the way she came and presented it, because I was like, if it takes her back, her life is about to be miserable.
Yeah, but I'm sure she did that because at this, you know how it is when you're the one that messed up,
right?
You're the one that has to basically put all your cards on the table.
Yeah, she was about to sign herself up for a lifetime, or I won't even say a lifetime, but he was about to really milk that.
At least she ain't got to deal with that voice for the rest of her life.
Yeah, it's well. Stacy goes to see Izzy's place and is impressed by his taste for, a bachelor. She then goes through his lost and found drawer full of random missing jewelry and condoms and is not very impressed and feels like it's kind of childish. She's a little turned off by the red Solo cups and plasticware. You're judgmental. Now, she's upset that he didn't clear out his lost and found, as I said, and wanted to know, and he was like, I just wanted you to know who I was basically before we got engaged. And so she's like, so basically you're telling me you are a boy, because that's what it's giving. That's the vibes that it's giving. Like, you don't care. You don't care what you present to me. You don't care if you serve me in plasticware. Like, that's how much I mean to you. And I was like, whoa, where did all this come from? I'm not saying the only reason I don't know where it came from. They seem to be cool the whole thing.
I think,
and then all of a sudden, and it seemed like the conversation about the finances went well. So maybe there's something that we didn't see.
no, I thought we seen it. I think she was just really upset about seeing that stuff in the drawer. She really felt he should have got rid of it before she got there. And he was like, she was like, if I had stuff in my house, of course I'm going to get rid of it before you
But
get
then
there.
she was really harping on you are not going to do your best to impress me. You're going to serve me in a red Solo cup. And
because
I was
that's
like,
a part of doing
my
because
God.
that's a part of doing your best to impress me. Doing your best to impress me is getting rid of this shit before I get here. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's not get it twisted. It's possible that she does have a thing with these I didn't give a damn. Teresa tell you, okay, unless it's like some special dinner, y'all eating off a styrofoam, y'all eating off a paper plates because she don't like to do dishes and she don't like dirty dishes. So what we gonna do? Paper plates, okay? But I can see that maybe, yes, maybe with the family she was brought up with, she doesn't like that. But do I think that it would have got as far as it did had she not seen the stuff in his drawer? I don't. I think she really took it that far. I think she dragged it because of the stuff she found in his drawer. Because I feel like she still would have said something, but I don't think it would have. I don't think it would have got that deep. Because then she brought it right back to that, the whole stuff in the drawer. She couldn't let it go.
Yeah. So Lydia takes Milton to meet her mom and brother William. I actually really
loved her family.
Yeah, they were really cool. I really liked William. The mom asked about kids, and Milton says that he wants 3. We learned that Lydia and her mother have very similar personalities. The brother is concerned if he's basically ready to deal with Lydia because clearly she can be a bit of a handful. And Milton, feels like he is. And then Lydia's mother, kind of gives her a little seal of approval and gets all emotional. And William agrees that, they're keeping Milton, but there's no refund policies. And I thought that was really cute. But yeah, no, everything's good on that side. They going, for La Familia, they gonna hug them.
It looked the same way on the other side.
No, it looked like probably somebody trying to mess with my 24-year-old son. If I had,
I'm not gonna lie. Look, what my man gonna say?
Right. So, basically, Stacy said she's thankful. Izzy came to her after being upset the night before. He comforted her when she was angry, and she said that she wasn't expecting that reaction. So they go to meet her family, and they seem genuinely happy to be meeting Izzy. And Stacy's dad is kind of giving the side eye the whole time they're talking to him, and
he gets broke energy.
Why is she like this?
That's why. That's why. When they started talking about traveling and stuff like that, like you just had mad energy, homie. Now you got quiet. Now you shush mouth. Now, I mean, it's because I don't want to say broke energy because, like I said, it seems like he can afford his own lifestyle. Right. But he's not giving like he can afford to have a wife. And then I think they also spoke about the 50-50 thing, didn't they? So the dad is like, he was like, yeah, she ain't for that.
Yeah. No, and basically the dad pulls him to the side and lets him know, look, yo, she wants nice things. And he's like, and it's great that you're in love, but sometimes love wants to fly first class and you have to be able to provide that. I said, Daddy, you better come through with a word. He know his daughter. And so Izzy talks about that, he used to be in business sales, but he wanted more of a work-life balance. And now he's into insurance sales. And one thing that I thought was interesting that brought up her love for traveling, and her family, they take trips to France every year or something like that. And poor Izzy hasn't even been to New York.
I think that was another thing that the family was looking like.
And he doesn't have a passport. I'm not knowing you for that, Izzy, but
she wouldn't.
But you know what? But I have been to New York. I have. Look, I'm trying to.
You ain't shit.
I have been to the Virgin Islands. Look, I'm trying to get to
shit.
Idaho.
You like. Listen, I ain't got the passport, but we ain't in the same boat, homie. We ain't in the same boat. Like, you said right.
Look, I'm like Stacey. I like to do things. I can't live like that. So no, we'll see what happens, but I think that in my opinion, the end all be all for Stacey and Izzy is gonna be money. Because she clearly got it a little bit more together. And I didn't realize, but I think maybe you pointed it out, she is older than him.
I think so.
Yeah, she is older than him.
I don't think it's like a Milton and
no, but she is older. So this is when it really hits the fan, right? At this point, I don't even know if I skipped over, I messed up. I think we're at episode 7 now. I believe so. I don't even remember now. Because now we get into the good. I just lost track. I just
drama of the drama.
Yeah. So they link up with some of their other pod mates. And one of them talks about how they can't believe what happened with the Sugars. And they felt like, Taylor just didn't try hard enough. And I was like, that's why you really wasn't on the show. And they gave you like 5 minutes to give you a couple lines. Yeah. So Johnny shows up. That was the real it of the it. Johnny shows up. And not only did Johnny show up, she shows up with Chris. Her and Chris done got that old thing back. They found love in a hopeless airport on the way home from Love is Blind and, reconnected. And so here they are and they together, and Stacey, feels like Johnny is a hater, which I said that last time, and, it's kind of fake. Now Izzy wants to talk to Johnny because he got all the smoke for her. He basically says that, and I didn't understand this. He was so intent on telling her how wrong she was for saying the same things to him that he said to that she said to Chris. And then they actually had the same debate that we had last review about what didn't y'all say to kind of basically say the same thing. And so Johnny's just trying to get a word in, and he's just like, no, and you're very sketchy, and basically you're a piece of shit. And it was really crazy. And I was like, where's this coming from? And so then he like runs over to Stacey and he's like, yeah, I told her all. She told us we were sketchy. And she's like, you seem a little worked up and you seem like you care too much about a bitch that you turned down. That's what Stacey was giving.
That is what she was giving. That's exactly what she was giving.
And so Izzy, then tries to, no, baby, I got you. I love you. I mean, I'm just so happy with the decision that I made. Mm-hmm. And then Johnny runs off crying to Chris, and he made me feel like a bad person. And Chris is like, of course, being Chris, no, you're strong, you're beautiful, you're kind, you're
you're an idiot.
So yeah, basically Stacey's like, I'm not here for being compared to any mess that is Johnny. So please keep that, whatever feelings you had, keep that over there. Now, Uche arrives to the party and Lydia is visibly shaken, okay? Uche wants to pull her to the side and she really don't want to, but she obliges because Netflix told her it's in her contract. So he tells her that he loved how into him she was and thinks that they should be honest. And for a moment, the conversation just changed because I was like, Uche, where are we going with this? I was like, is that why you didn't take a little back? But anyway, so and basically says that, you weren't honest with me when we were together. You said that, I guess basically she lied about how she knew he was messing with other women or whatever the case may be, or how she was learning so many things or catching him up. And that's because she was invading his privacy, as he calls it, going through his shit. Okay. And then, she's
like, how is it your privacy when it belongs to us?
Well, they start arguing. She gets up. He wants to finish talking. So then somebody's like, yo, your girl's over there arguing with Uche. And so Milton comes to sit down and he's like, so what's going on? And Uche asks for a minute. And he's like, all right, I'll give you a minute 10 to be exact, because we got something to do. And I said, my type of man.
He really didn't seem like he wanted to do that.
Right. So then, he continues and
He looked like he was like he had some smoke for Uche.
He did.
I felt like it was Lydia that really was like that, like kind of aggravated him when she was like, no, just give us a second, because it didn't look like Milton was trying to go nowhere.
True. So Uche continues and lets Lydia know that, his friends snitched her out. He goes and pulls out the receipts of her following.
You got screenshots?
Right. And Lydia thinks that what happened between them is comical and says he doesn't want her to tell what he did, and then talks about how he cheated on her while they were together, but he had all the smoke for Aaliyah about what she did in the past. And I said, well, it's funny how the tables turn. So, yeah, and he's like, so you're just gonna walk out? You're just gonna leave? And she's like, yeah, because I got a whole fiance that I'm actually with, and I ain't worried about you. And yeah, so what? I was crazy and I was stalking you. I've moved on to stalking somebody else. How you think this goes? Exclusively for you? Again, I understand, Lydia. Okay, I'm just saying. I pull up and take pictures. I don't know if I'm gonna show them. Look, I don't know if I'm gonna send you the evidence that I was sitting outside your house, but still.
See, she'll stalk, but she won't go through a phone. I'll go through a phone, but I ain't stalking.
Well, different strokes for different folks. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you being here for the review of episodes 5 through 7 of Love is Blind. I can honestly say I'm really enjoying the season. I'm enjoying these set of characters. It's not a hard watch. It's fun. And I love coming and deliver it to you. So, yeah, I appreciate it. And if you have not already, please, please, please make sure that you've hit that like button.
You comment.
You subscribe.
And you hit the notification bell.
And please make sure that you follow us on all the platforms, the TikTok, the Twitter, the Facebook, the IG. And y'all, please also drop down in the comments or slide in the DM. Well, I don't know about the DMs, but, hit us up on Twitter, whatever. Please let us know anything that you would like to see us review. I'm just getting to a point. There's certain things that I just don't want to do anymore, i.e. Married at First Sight, Ready to Love. I'm over it. We keep seeing the same thing and it keeps getting worse. So any suggestions? It could be on Netflix. I don't have Hulu, but maybe I'll subscribe just for y'all.
I have Hulu.
Well, she'll share her login. Oh, sorry, don't say that. But yeah, point is, we're into doing different things. So please, we would love your suggestions, and we would love to hear what you guys would like to get the reviews on, even if it's older shows and you want us to bring it back and talk about it now, just because you want to hear our take on it. I feel like somebody's doing that with Love and Hip Hop, like going back all the way from the beginning when it used to be good.
Yeah.
Right. When you can actually appreciate it. But yeah, y'all. So anyway, sorry for the long-windedness. This is who I am. But yes.
Lydia.
Shut up. Yes, we love you guys, and we will catch you probably in a couple of days, because I do believe they are dropping episode 8 or something, 8 or 9 or 8 through 10 tonight.
Very, very soon. Yeah.
Very, very soon. So you will see us very, very soon. But have a good night and have a great weekend. Stay warm and stay dry, especially if you're up here in the DMV like us. All right. Love you.
Good night.